So yes, they're using their power of might makes right to make sure that in the future no one will ever use might makes right against anybody. That's the kind of person the king is.
Oh, hi, Mark. Are you ready to throw hands at some bad guess?
Well, howdy. Nearly Senior Citizen here. Greetings, boys, girls, and all of our non-binary friends, and welcome to this, a brand new day. It is raining. Yay, a very good thing. I think the workers that have been doing stuff on the house for the past couple of days finished yesterday, I think. Some of the equipment is still here, so maybe there's stuff they need to finish. I don't know. It is really raining out there right now. So I don't think, even if they aren't done, that they wouldn't be coming back in the midst of all this rain. So hopefully it's all finished. That's good. Ugh. I don't mind being around people. I don't mind things happening. I do mind it when the people that are supposed to be doing stuff are like destroying your equipment and knocking things down and intruding and trying to introduce themselves and talk to you. Only because I'm just socially withdrawn, socially anxious with my ADHD, where I am on my particular autism spectrum, and it's just, it was not good. But it seems to be all over, so thumbs up on that. And of course, front loading of videos close to the beginning as I can get. If you can toss me a like, that'd be awesome. If you could subscribe to the channel, that'd be very cool. If you could leave me a comment, that too would be very, very much a good thing. And of course, I would like to thank each and every one of my Patreon patrons. These literally beautiful and literally awesome people are in fact literally beautiful and literally awesome, helping to keep both me and my pets alive, and that is a good thing. I thank you very much. My pets can't thank you in English, but I can thank you for them. Thank you very much. It is greatly, greatly appreciated, each and every one of you. If you would like to become a patron, there are links in the video description, wherever it is for the device you're watching. If you'd like to help me out without becoming a patron, there's the PayPal link. And if you'd like to help me out without sending money, there's an Amazon Wish link as well. Thumbs up for that. And front loading of videos over. Yay. One thing that happened last night that freaked me out and freaked me out this morning as well. I forgot what day it was. And I have to pay for a monthly fee to keep a phone going. 17th of every month, I have to pay for my phone or the service goes off. Yesterday was the 17th. I had to buy some things at the store. Things that you can't really live without. You know, food and things to clean yourself with, like bathroom tissue, such like that. If you're an American, we don't use things like bidets, then yeah, you need stuff to keep yourself clean. When I got back, I realized I couldn't pay for my phone because I only had $20 in my checking account, and it's $35 plus fees, so $40 a month for the phone. I only had $20. If you have a YouTube account and you are a YouTube creator, you have to have two-factor authentication periodically. Not every day will you have to use it when you're signing into your account, but periodically, just out of the blue, they'll say, hey, here's this number going to your text number. You need to send it back to us to prove that it's you. Well, my phone turned off. And I'm a YouTube creator. I have to have that. So with my phone turned off, if there was any, hey, are you you? I can't say I am because I'll never get a text. So I went onto Twitter saying, oh my God, this is awful. And then just had to go to bed. I woke up this morning and had no money still. So made a community post about I'm losing my account. I think I actually did that last night before I went to bed, the community post, yeah. Because it was before when I could still get into the things. Yeah, I did that before I went to bed. Oh, my brain. I made a community post saying I'm about to lose things. Somebody sent me $5 and that helped. I posted on Twitter that I can't get a, no phone, so two-factor authentication. Somebody sent me $18. Together, I was able to renew my phone, and thus you are watching this video because my two-factor authentication is good for another month. Oh, holy smokes, that was fun. That was fun. I felt not very wonderful from last night onward until it finally got all cleared up. So at least it was for at least another month. I have no food that's not in my cupboard, so when I run out, I'm not going to have anything to eat. My kitty cat has a box of food that I keep outside the room here in the hall, and when that's out, it's gone. I have no money for cat dirt, so when her cat box needs to be filled, I have nothing. I have no money. My food stamps are going to be running out here in about a week. I have no money. I am going to be losing a lot of weight, and I'm going to be very, very hungry by the time the end of the month and my disability coming in. Life is life. Welcome to America. If you're an American, you know the burn, you know the feeling, you know the sting. It's like over half of the country lives paycheck to paycheck, where if something happens that's an emergency, there is no buffer. If something happens, you can't pay the rent. So that's great. Richest country in the world, and over half the citizens, we're living close to poverty. And of course, just to go on a quick political thing, with the political hacks that were put into place on the Supreme Court by the people in power to destroy the power structures of the country are doing their jobs. And now they have made it easier for political corruption because one GOP senator didn't like the fact that, there were some rules to keep him from grifting hard. And the political hacks on the Supreme Court said, oh, you're right. Tell you what, we'll strike this down. Go get rich off your base. So political corruption for the win. And of course, I can't remember. Oh, I did talk about Open Morrowind and such, but I wanted to talk more about Utok and the King in Crimson. Somebody in comments asked what was the difference between my King in Crimson and other supernatural types, because other people have talked about like the King in Crimson, and then I got an itchy upper lip here, excuse me. And there are things like people have made games out of this one character. They didn't use the character at all, but there's the King in Yellow, which is like over 100 years old Lovecraft mythology stuff, and people are still using that sort of thing. And what was my relationship with my King in Crimson with these other Crimson Kings and all that? And the thing is, I know I'm using the name King in Crimson and it sounds all supernaturally, but the King in Crimson is on the inside, yes, more than human. They are a very powerful being, very smart, very intelligent. They are a non-human intelligence entirely, and they are easily smarter than like everyone on Earth combined, able to make leaps of deduction and logic that they are bringing humanity with them forward with the questions to make us think and follow where they're leading. They are a powerful being, but they're not a supernatural being, just a non-human intelligence. But they are a non-human intelligence that has a deep, abiding affection, empathy, and sympathy for humanity. As a quick background stuff for all those that don't know anything about it other than the name, they have no real idea of what happened with their birth. Like most powerful beings, they weren't born, but they were born. They weren't created out of nothing, but they were created. There are energies that can coalesce on the whole razor's edge and on the inside, and occasionally these will coalesce into intelligences, beings. There is so much creativity and power on these settings, with an infinite bowl and ocean of potential and power that contains every possible variation of every possible thing within it. Things happen. And one of those things happening is powerful beings that will coalesce. Because it is a coalition, if that's a real word, they have no real definite point to say, I began to be here. There's just memories and impressions that go back. And they watched humanity rise in civilizations and fall, rise and fall. Must have been at least tens of thousands, if not just 10,000 years, watching humanity rise in civilizations and fall. And while they weren't being conscious and thinking, they were remembering all of this. And their first conscious thought was not the phrase said, but something very similar, which was, I must be very careful then. There are a lot of pitfalls to avoid if I will be king. And so they set out to become king. They also have some accoutrements that they have, like they wear a mask. It looks like a porcelain/china mask. But it's an electronic thing that's also physical. Whenever the expression changes on the mask, there's a line, like an electronic fry line that goes across it, and it physically changes. The king themselves have no idea where this came from. From their impressions and feelings of the past, about 2/3 of that they had no mask. The last third of it they had the mask. No impressions or memories of where it came from, who made it, or how it was even created. No ideas, just didn't have it, has it, continues to use it. As for their physical body, I really can't get a real good idea, good hook on what they look like. They are a non-human intelligence with a non-human body, and they sort of ask you to meet them halfway. They vary in height between 5'6" and 6'6", but there's never any overt like crunch, smack. It's things while moving, and the height will flow depending on what they are wearing. And what they are wearing also depends. At all times they have the mask. They also tend to wear hats, and they like very flamboyant costumes. If you wonder how the King in Crimson acts, if you've ever seen the Rocky Horror Picture Show, imagine Dr. Frankenfurter, except not, take out all of the sexual stuff and just leave it as flamboyant, wildly gesturing. The id and the superego and all that showing on the face when Frankenfurter's bored, he's rolling his eyes in a very exaggerated fashion, and it's just wild, flamboyant gestures. That is the way they act. The best I can figure for what they wear, nobody knows if it's the king's skin or if it is like the mask, clothing. No questions asked are ever properly answered. But they can be facing away from you, and you can see them wearing their red leather boots, and they've got red satin gloves, but the rest of their outfit may be just, a lab coat with a tuxedo underneath. And as they turn, it will unravel and reweave itself back so that if they wish, they are wearing a stylized Egyptian-style set of clothing. It is a weird set, and again, nobody knows, and I'm not sure. I'm still working on it, trying to get it straight in my head. But again, non-human intelligence entirely with a deep and abiding empathy and affection for us. They are using the power of their kingdom and monarchical fiat and might makes right to perform and create a kingdom that will carry on after their passing. Not forever. Nothing lasts forever. We live in a physical universe. Everything has a beginning, a middle, and an end. They just want it to last longer. Using their power of monarchical fiat and might makes right to create a government where In the future, no government official will ever be able to use the power of monarchical fiat or might makes right to twist the government to their uses. It is going to be a government where every citizen has the right to redress for grievances, and that it will work for the people to continue bringing them upward into the future. So yes, they're using their power of might makes right to make sure that in the future no one will ever use might makes right against anybody. That's the kind of person the king is. But even at that, I've mentioned, to get their kingdom together, because now it is 1,114 years after they struck ground on their kingdom. And they don't know how long they're going to live, but they're trying to put as much into their life as they can before the inevitable end. But it's been that 1,114 years since it's been created and they struck ground. And I forgot the original point that I was just going to say on that one. But at least there's the timing. Oh yes. They didn't just use happy and friendly stuff. Yes, as they were gaining in power so that they could put their kingdom in the place that they wanted it to be. Very important point for him. They used armies when they needed, and they led armies to fight other armies. They were there, soldier against soldier, sword to sword. They would use diplomacy, and when that didn't work, they would use treachery and backstabbing. When necessary, they would even use simple slaughter. And when that was necessary, they too were there. Arms and elbows deep in guts, slaughtering the innocent as they needed to get this job done. And the whole King in Crimson, that yes, they have a preference for color. Everything, 90% of everything has some shade of red to it. Not everything, and even everything that they wear is not all in red. I can speak English, I promise. It's not all in red, but for whatever reasons, they have a very, very strong feelings toward this. That is why even with the other, Amelia, just a bit, that is why even with their phones, there is the Seiki A6200, which is the first phone that comes out, which is just 6200. A is just angstrom light wave frequencies for the color red. It starts down there and starts working its way up through that spectrum. And I've gone through and opened up 24 hours worth of comments. I'm going to thank everybody that's left me any comments in the past 24 hours. I said that very awkwardly because my kitty cat is being annoying this morning. Life is life. I'm going to go through and thank everybody that's left me comments. If I mispronounce a username, no disrespect is intended. And even though I count American Sign Language, well, you've already seen how my brain works. We have Mr. Geekman who says, what you get for voting America this way, which is actually kind of deeper. I don't know if it was meant for anything more than a zinger, but there's actually a lot more deeper stuff in there. And Code, thank you. Private Clutch, greatly appreciated. We have Confused Owl 29, always good to see you in the comments. And then we have Jesse Koskinen. Oh, I love the game Dusk. I wish more people watch the videos I make on it just because Dusk is a great game. But thumbs up and thank you. And we have Not Kuru, greatly appreciated. Bosch, thumbs up and thank you. 12th Century, thank you very, very much. And Wasabi Covered Nuts, well, hey, as long as there's a comment in the past 24 hours, we'll give you a shout out. We have Ben B, she is the good kitty. Amelia kitty. We have Lucas, thumbs up and thank you. Ice Damon, it would be good if cats could open doors on their own. Seashell 1075. And then there's a name in Kyrillic, I think, but asking for more Oblivion, and yes, more Oblivion is always coming. So yay, thumbs up and thank you, each and every one of you. Get me out of my head and into the world and dealing with real people, and trust me, it is appreciated to no end. Well, hokey smokes, hopefully I'm going to get some phone calls made today. Hopefully you can get things that you need to get done today. If you can, very cool. If you can't, don't freak out about it. Survival is more important than that. Thumbs up on that. And of course, with the covfefe bug raging, please, hokey smokes, do you see the people on TV talking about how, yep, I got it again for the second time? I see YouTubers talking about this all the time, saying, yeah, I got the covfefe bug, and oh my God, it kicked my ass from here to next Wednesday. Take the proper precautions for your area. Be smart. Hokey smokes. You don't need to toss your body onto the corpse pile any sooner than necessary. Take your precautions, get your vaccinations, get boosted. Hokey smokes. So, until we meet again, you take care. Have a great day today. I will see you on the flip side, and I quite frankly do think that is indeed a very good thing.